Picture this scenario. It is 6:30 a.m. The alarm goes off. You feel groggy, but you drag yourself out of bed because you are disciplined. You head to the kitchen, bypass the food, and brew a strong cup of black coffee. Maybe you add a shot of espresso to really wake up. You look at your fasting app, you're 14 hours in, and you're aiming for 16 or 18 because you saw a fitness influencer or a male biohacker claim that this is the secret to longevity and shredding fat. You head to the gym on an empty stomach to do a high-intensity interval training session or lift heavy weights, convinced that you are burning pure body fat. Fast forward 3 months. You step on the scale. The number hasn't moved, or worse, it's gone up. You look in the mirror. Your belly looks softer, almost bloated, specifically in the lower abdomen. Your hair feels thinner when you brush it. You are freezing cold when everyone else is warm. And your mood? You are irritable, anxious, and snapping at your family by 4 p.m. You ask yourself, I am doing everything right. I am suffering. I am disciplined. Why do I look worse than when I started? Here is the uncomfortable truth that the biohacking industry, which is 90% dominated by data from young men, isn't telling you. You are not a small man. And if you are a woman over 35 or 40, fasting like a man is not a biohack. It is a biological signal for famine. And your body is responding exactly how evolution designed it to, by shutting down your metabolism, dumping cortisol into your blood, and hoarding fat to survive the war you just declared on your physiology. In this video, we are going deep. I am going to explain the specific neuroscience of why fasting fails for so many women in midlife, reacts differently than the male brain, specifically a group of neurons called kisspeptin. I will break down the triad of destruction, caffeine, fasting, and HIIT that destroys the thyroid in women over 40. And finally, I will give you the female sync protocol, the strategic way to use fasting to balance hormones without wrecking your metabolism. Stop fighting your biology. It's time to work with it. To understand why fasting fails for so many women in midlife, we have to look at the brain, not the stomach. Men and women have a biological imperative that differentiates us: reproduction. Even if you are done having children or are in perimenopause, your biological operating system is still prioritized around the potential to create life. This makes the female brain incredibly sensitive to energy availability. In the male brain, there is a moderate sensitivity to calorie restriction. A man can skip breakfast, run 10 miles, and his testosterone might actually go up initially. He feels alert. He feels like a hunter. His body perceives scarcity as a signal to go out and kill something. In the female brain, specifically in the hypothalamus, there is a cluster of neurons called kisspeptin neurons. These are the gatekeepers of your hormonal health. They control the release of GnRH, gonadotropin-releasing hormone, which tells your ovaries to do their job. Research has shown that female kisspeptin neurons are vastly more sensitive to drops in energy balance than male neurons. Why? Because carrying a pregnancy requires a massive surplus of energy. If the female brain senses even a hint of famine, its safety protocol is to shut down reproduction immediately to protect the host. When you wake up, your cortisol is naturally rising. This is the cortisol awakening response. It's healthy. But when you actively withhold food, pump your system with high-dose caffeine, which mimics stress, and then perform high-intensity exercise, physical stress, you are stacking 3 massive danger signals on top of each other. Your kisspeptin neurons detect this energy deficit and send a signal to your thyroid and ovaries: stop. Unsafe environment, conserve energy. This leads to the cortisol steal. To keep you running during this self-imposed famine, your adrenals pump out massive amounts of cortisol to liberate glucose from your muscles. You read that right. If you don't eat, your body eats your muscle tissue to fuel your brain. High cortisol blocks the conversion of T4, inactive thyroid hormone, to T3, active thyroid hormone. The result? You develop low T3 syndrome. Your metabolism slows down. You feel tired but wired. You gain weight looking at food. You are essentially training your body to be efficient at storing fat because it thinks it is living in an ice age. Let's look at the symptoms. How do you know if you have fallen into the fasting trap? It's not just about weight. Symptom 1, the 2 p.m. crash. You feel heroic in the morning, but by early afternoon you could fall asleep at your desk, or you crave sugar intensely. This is your blood sugar roller coaster crashing after the cortisol high wears off. Symptom 2, the menopause apron, gets worse. Cortisol specifically directs fat storage to the visceral area, deep in the belly, because that tissue has 4 times more cortisol receptors than subcutaneous fat. Fasting aggressively can literally build you a belly. Symptom 3, hair shedding and brittle nails. These are non-essential functions. When the body perceives famine, it stops spending energy on vanity. Symptom 4, sleep fragmentation. You wake up at 3 a.m., heart racing. This is a nocturnal cortisol spike caused by unstable blood sugar regulation during the day. So does this mean you should never fast? Absolutely not. Fasting is a powerful tool for autophagy, gut rest, and insulin sensitivity. But the dose and the timing must be different for women over 40. We need to move from chronic fasting, doing it every day forever, to strategic fasting. Here is the physiology-backed solution, the female sync protocol. Phase 1, the safety signal, pre-workout. If you are doing high-intensity exercise, HIIT, heavy lifting, CrossFit, spin class, you must stop doing it fasted. You are causing more damage than growth. The female body needs a safety signal to permit muscle growth. The fix? 30 minutes before you train, consume 15 to 20 grams of protein and a small amount of carbohydrates. This could be half a banana with a scoop of whey isolate or a small Greek yogurt. This does not ruin your fat loss. On the contrary, it tells the kisspeptin neurons food is available, it is safe to build muscle, it is safe to burn fat. You will notice your strength goes up and your recovery improves instantly. Phase 2, circadian fasting, early time-restricted eating. Most women fast the wrong way. They skip breakfast when insulin sensitivity is highest and eat a huge dinner when insulin sensitivity is lowest. They push their first meal to 1 p.m. and eat until 9 p.m. This is misaligned with your circadian rhythm. The fix? Shift your window. Break your fast early. Eat a high-protein breakfast within 90 minutes of waking. This anchors your cortisol curve and supports the thyroid. Then stop eating earlier. Make your fasting window happen while you sleep. Stop eating by 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. This early time-restricted eating is shown in studies to be far superior for metabolic health in women than skipping breakfast. You still get your 12 to 14-hour fast, but you do it in harmony with your hormones. Phase 3, the cycle sync, or moon sync. If you are still menstruating, you must change your fasting based on your cycle. In the follicular phase, days 1 to 14, after your period starts, your estrogen is rising and you are more resilient to stress. You can push your fasting window to 14 to 16 hours comfortably. You can do more intense cardio. In the luteal phase, the week before your period, your body is producing progesterone. Progesterone is demanding. It raises your metabolic rate and requires steady blood sugar. If you fast aggressively the week before your period, you will trigger PMS, rage, and intense cravings. The fix? During the week before your bleed, stop fasting. Eat breakfast immediately. Focus on complex carbs, sweet potatoes, oats, quinoa to support progesterone production. If you are in menopause, you can mimic this rhythm or simply listen to your body. If you feel high stress, do not fast. Now, let's address the exceptions. I mentioned nuance at the start. Who should fast aggressively? If you have PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, with high insulin levels, or if you have significant obesity, BMI over 30 with metabolic syndrome, you are the exception. In these cases, the body is flooded with energy, stored fat and sugar, but the cells are resistant to it. Here, intermittent fasting can be therapeutic to lower insulin levels. However, even in these cases, I recommend clean fasting, no cream or sweeteners in coffee, and prioritizing protein at the break-fast meal. But for the woman who is already lean, active, and stressed out, aggressive fasting is often the tipping point into burnout. Let's debunk the autophagy myth.
Many women fast because they want autophagy or cellular cleaning for anti-aging. They think they need to fast 18 hours a day to get it. New research suggests that exercise is a more potent trigger for autophagy in muscle tissue than short-term fasting. If you lift heavy weights and sleep 8 hours, you are getting plenty of cellular repair. You don't need to starve yourself to age backwards. In fact, starving yourself causes sarcopenia, muscle loss, which is the #1 accelerator of aging. Muscle is your metabolic armor. Do not burn your furniture to heat the house. Practical application: a day in the life of the female sink approach. 7 a.m. Wake up, drink water with electrolytes, 10 minutes of sunlight. 7:30 a.m. The safety signal: a small protein shake or collagen coffee with a splash of almond milk. 8 a.m. Workout. You feel strong, not shaky. 9:30 a.m. Real breakfast. 30 grams of protein, scrambled eggs with spinach or a substantial smoothie. 1 p.m. Lunch. Protein, healthy fats, fiber. 5:30 p.m. Dinner. Smaller meal. Carbs are okay here to help serotonin production for sleep. 6:30 p.m. Kitchen closed. Fasting begins. 10 p.m. Bed. This routine gives you a 12.5-hour fast. It fuels your activity, it respects your thyroid, and most importantly, it stops the hair loss and the belly fat accumulation. I know this goes against what the 25-year-old fitness influencers are telling you, but their biology is not your biology. When you hit 40, the margin for error shrinks. Your body becomes a stress barometer. If you treat it harshly, it will rebel. If you treat it with safety and nourishment, it will reward you with a high metabolism and stable energy. If you are ready to stop fighting your body and start working with it, I want you to try the Safety Signal pre-workout strategy for just 7 days. See how your energy changes. And if you found this deep dive helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. My goal is to build the ultimate resource for women over 40 to master their hormones and longevity naturally. Make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss the next guide. Trust your biology, be patient with yourself, and I'll see you soon.